We'll start in 2 minutes. Let's wait for them. Okay, let's start then. As usual, we'll start our session with a prayer. Sit comfortably. I hope you all can hear me, see the screen. Everything is okay, right? You can hear me very well?
Yes, madam.
Great. You can call me Vanita. I'd love to hear my name.
Okay. Okay.
Sit comfortably.
Okay, Vanita.
Thank you so much. Sit comfortably. Hands, palms together in Namaskar. Take the blessings from the Gurus and the gods for today's lesson. As you feel you are done, slowly open your eyes. Okay, I hope everyone was fine. Okay, let's start with our regular ritual. I need some volunteers. Read this slide. We'll have a revision first. Then today's class was very much easy and light. We're going to know about all the 7 planets, about their characters, which body part it belongs to, and what is the human relation and the planets. These are all 3 main things we are going to see in the planets characters today. So it's a very, very intro session only. Later, in the future classes, we will deep dive into every planets one by one. But this is the very introduction about the 9 planets. But before that, we'll have the revision. Okay, I need few volunteers. Anyone?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll read through in the English name. All the zodiac sign in the English name. Start from the Aries.
Aries, Taurus,
Go ahead.
Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And for the next one.
I'm telling you, okay.
Can you please mute yourself? Okay, anyone wants to read in Sanskrit?
Mesha, Vrishabha, Mithuna, Karka, Simha, Kanya, Tula, Vrishchika, Dhanush, Makara, Kumbha, Meena.
That's wonderful. Okay, one more volunteer. Okay, the planets you already know. I read through this: Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Drago, and Ketu. This is easy. I take this. Okay, now this is the owner of the every houses. How you can read this one? The owner of the Aries and the Scorpio is Mars. Owner of the Taurus and the Libra is Venus. Okay, anyone want to volunteer this? Very quickly.
Yeah, owner of Aries and Scorpio is Mars. Owner of Taurus and Libra is Venus. Owner of Gemini and Virgo is Mercury. Owner of Cancer is Moon. Yeah, owner of Leo is Sun. Owner of Pisces and Sagittarius is Jupiter. Owner of Capricorn and Aquarius is Saturn.
Okay, you want to try this challenge? imagine there was read the same thing in the Sanskrit name, like the owner of Mesham and Vrichikam is Mars, the owners of Rishabam and the Tulam is the Venus. Is that possible? Anyone want to try that like this? Okay, I will try then. See, first thing, Mesham and the Vrikshikam. The owner of the Mesham and Vrikshikam is Mars. In other words, we call it as the Mangala Karagam, Aranga Karagam, Sevvai, the various names for this one constellation. And the Rishabam and the Tulam, the owner of the Rishabam and the Tulam is Chukran, of Venus. What is that? The owner of Mithunam and the Kanya is Mercury or Buddha. The owner of Kadakam, Karka is Moon. The owner of Simha is Suryan, Sun. The owner of Sagittarius, Dhanush or Meena. The owner of the Dhanush and the Meena is Guru. The owner of the Magaram and the Kumbham is Sunny or Saturn. Okay. Move on. Okay. This is very much important. I need one more volunteer. Very quickly. It looks like boring in the beginning, but I am so much guarantee on this exercise. It will help you very much in your in the learning process of astrology. In the beginning, I know it's so boring, but keep with this the process. It will really help you. Okay, one volunteer, please. Read all the houses. How you're going to read? The first house is self, physical body, general characters. Second house is wealth, family, speech, and resources, like that. Continuously, we are starting from here. Go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till 12. Okay. Anyone want to volunteer?
Okay.
Yeah,
First
go
house, Mesha, self, physical body, general characteristics. Vrishabha, wealth, family, speech, resources. Third house, siblings, courage. Fourth, mother, peace, happiness, education, comfort. Fifth, children, fame, talent, emotions. Sixth, enemies, obstacles, diseases, accidents. Seventh, relationship, spouse, partners. Eighth, longevity, troubles, secrets, occult signs, in-laws. Ninth, guru, father, luck, fortunes, dharma. 10th, work, career, power, status. 11th, income, friends, elder brother. 12th, losses, donations, sacrifice, spirituality, imprisonment, foreign land.
Awesome. That wonderful. And one more thing we added in this week. Okay, this one I will tell you. For this week, I will read this. From the next week onwards, we read together. Okay. Every zodiac sign habits the body parts also. You remember first time also we learned about it, how we can assign every body part. Can unmute yourself, everyone. From here on, I'm going to speak all the time. Okay. So, mute yourself. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. It starts from the Mesha. Mesha is your head. How you can easily remember the body parts? Mesha start from the head. Then the Rishabam may start from the neck and the throat. Mithuna is the lungs, arms, and the shoulders. And the Kadagam or Karka is the chest, breast, or stomach. Here the thing is, okay, I will tell you this one later. The Simha is your heart and upper back and behind your back. And the Kanya is abdomen and all entire digestive system. And the Tula is your kidney and the lumbar region. The lumbar region you understand, right? In the spine, the above the sacral, the lumbar region is the. I guess everyone knows about the spine. I believe in such a way. So the lumbar region, you heard about this L1, L2, L3, L4. Some people will say my L4 disc was slipped. Some people will say my L3 disc was slipped. That nothing but your lumbar region got infected or it got dislocated. So the lumbar region belongs to Tula. and until we are coming until here, then the genital area is your for men and women, regardless of the men and women, genital area belongs to Scorpio, and the hips and the thighs belongs to Dhanush or Sagittarius, and the knees and the bones is Capricorn and the Makara, a Capricorn or Makara. Then the calves and the shin bone, you in the imagine this is your calf and the shin bone and the ankles. Okay, the entire thing is the Kumbha or the Aquarius. And the last one, the feet belongs to Pisces or the Mean. So how we can remember the body part? Start from here, slowly come down one by one till you reach the feet. Okay, that way you can easily remember. Even if I can ask you, what is the body part for the Sagittarius, you have to quickly remember it's the hips and the thighs. If the Libra, it's kidneys and the lumbar region. Initially, it looks like tough in the beginning, but once you practice again and again, and you remember remember in your body parts itself, it's easy to recall. This is one kind of the memory technique that people will do. They store the data in their body parts itself. For example, imagine your head is a Meshan, and this one is the Rishabham, and the arms and the shoulders and the lungs is the Mithunam. Like that, if you can remember all the body parts related with the data, you can quickly recall it. Okay. This is the one thing I will do all the time. That really works. I don't know. If you try, it may work for you also. Try that. Okay, that's the end of our first revision today. Okay, let's enter into our real class. Okay, give me a second. Close this. Okay. Okay. Okay, today's agenda is very simple. We are going to learn about all the introduction about all the 3 planets, all the 7 planets. If we have a time, we will have an introduction about the Kalapurusha chart, if we have the time. Okay, possibly we have the time, I guess. Okay, today is the level 1 week 7 for the online Vedic astrology of the Sarvamangala Institute. Let's start. Okay, we already know what are the planets. What are the 9 planets? The Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Mercury, Saturn, Rahu, and the Ketu. The 7 of the planets. The last 2 Rahu and the Ketu are the shadow planets. It's nothing. It's representing your nodes, North Node and the South Node. How it is representing the North Node and the South Node, we already see it in the class itself, right? Okay. Now we'll see what is the Sun will do. The Sun is the planet which represents your father figure. Father is not only your father, the father-in-law also represented as the Sun. You may ask, the behavior of the father and the father-in-law was different. How come it is representing the Sun? As a father nature, both father and father-in-law represented by the Sun itself. Here, the father, how the Sun will behave, like the Sun will give this energy regardless of whoever it is, for the bad people, good people, giving benefit to them or not, regardless of that anything, it spreads the sun rays across everything, right? All the living organism, non-living organism, in everything, right? The same thing, the peoples also have the generous nature. If the Sun was in the very high, good state, if the Sun was sitting in that birth chart in a very good state, then this kind of the people who also have a generous in nature, and they help everybody and without thinking about anything. They don't expect anything from them, but they give the help in a very, very generous way. And the Sun is like a king. How the king will behave? The king is like a very majestic, and he very much dominant, and he know how to rule the world, and he know how to control the people. He know how to manage the people. If the Sun was in a good place, the peoples will also, the native means nothing but the chart belongs to that person. Okay, the native is also having that kind of a very good quality. His administration level was so high, and he can manage the people very well. And it's also represent the soul. That's why the sun was very much important in the placement of the zodiac in your birth chart. Not only the sun, all the 9 planets were very much important. The sun and the moon will give very much important. I will tell you why also. Okay, it represents oneself. How you remember in the first house when we see the bhava, the first house, it belongs to the self. That is, it's describing about oneself. The same thing. The sun here, the planets describe oneself. It also represents the ego. Some people, whatever the ego the person was having, the Surya will have the sun will have an impact on their ego property. Okay, and this is all about the relationship and the main characteristics of the sun. The third one is about where the sun belongs. All the government offices, all or anything belongs to the government. It's all in the sun. Characteristic will be in place of all this government offices. There is also many places the sun belongs to. We will. This is only for the intro of the planet, so that I didn't include it, all the things into one place. Just remember this one. If there was a government office or secretary office that belongs to the government, in that place, the sun, it is the characteristic of the sun. Okay. Okay. And it also tells your energy level, how much you are energetic, how much you are very lively in your life, how much are you a very active person. Everything can be decided by the sun's energy. Okay. Mainly the sun body, when it comes into the body parts of the human, it comes into your head. Importantly, it is come into your spine. The entire spine comes under the sun influence. Your head, spine, particularly on your upper abdomen. Okay. If you see any of the people hunching back, they have the hunchback like this. If you are very much curious, see this person's chart. Definitely, the sun was in a very bad position. If any people was having back pain, particularly on the spine, if there was any disc relocated or any kind of spine injury, definitely the sun was in a very bad place. How you can understand the sun was in a good place with if you see the person, if you was a hunchback and his spine was not erect, then immediately you can come into the conclusion the sun was not in a good place. But don't judge the person just like that. I'm just giving a hint just for a fun. Okay. But every person was different. But mainly the spine will tell you how the person's energy will be. If the spine was not erect, the energy of the person was definitely damn low. If your spine was erect, the sun's energy completely imbibed with your body. Okay. Then the upper stomach area, upper abdomen area, it also belongs to the sun. If your upper abdomen was not working properly, your digestion, obviously your digestion won't work very well, right? That how you can understand. If the people who was living not get the influence of the sun very much, they get all kind of the diseases related with the spine, related with the upper abdomen area. The simple thing is, when one solution when the people are having a spine problem, if they go under the sun for at least 10 minutes in a day or 30 minutes in a day, the spine problem will become slowly reduced without even taking their medicine. But I'm not suggesting, I'm not a doctor, disclaimer. But this is the experience I saw in some number of the people which I saw when they didn't have an influence of the sun, because most of the time, okay, as I'm living here in Singapore, the sun influence was very much less, because if you come out of the house, always you are under some kind of a roof, and you are enter into any kind of a bus or the train, the AC will be covered all over you. The sun influence was very much less. That's why here the people's mainly whatever the skin disease will come, The immunity system was very less. Some of the people will have the spine injury, mostly on the spine, because of this kind of. This is my understanding about this place. I may wrong, I may not wrong. Okay, but altogether, what I'm trying to tell you is, if you have any kind of the spine problem, go and get the sun's energy. Take a sun bath. Definitely, the spine will become uh, heal on its own, and you come back to your normal state. Okay, that's all about the sun. And why I said this 1 month in the bracket, when the sun moves to finishes the one constellation, moves from one constellation to the another, it's nothing but moving from one zodiac sign to the next zodiac sign. It takes 1 month of the time. That's why we had the 1 year as a 12 months. Okay, let's move on into moon. Moons represents the mother. It's all how the sun was representing your soul, moon was representing your mind. This kind of the people's what it will first imagine how the moon will do. Right? When in the full moon, the moon was in a very big in shape, and it was in a very round in shape, very full figure, right? When it during the towards the days of the Amavasa, how it will do? The moon will reduce its size little bit day by day, and when it reaches the new moon, it completely you're not able to see the moon, right? Again, when it comes into the full moon, it increases a little day by day, and come into the full moon state. Same thing when the people when any of the people, all the people, okay, get influenced by the moon. If the moon was in a very high state, their emotional level is also like that. They are highly emotional. They can quickly take a sense of everything, and their emotional state is also so high. What does I mean? Emotional state was too high for a normally the person don't get emotional with any kind of the scenes happening in front of them. This people's was emotionally in the mental level, mind level, so they will get easily affected by that. Very good qualities, or they are very much nurturing qualities. What does that mean? They love to pamper others. Quotation in the book: pampering others, not them, others. Have a very much nurturing quality. If the highly influenced moon person was next to you, you don't need to worry about it. They will do whatever you want. Okay, that kind of the nurturing quality they will have. Same time, their imagination level is tremendous, and it was very beautiful. They will go beyond you, beyond whatever other people are thinking. The imagination level was so high, means so high. They can think one. Normally, the person will think the rose is in rose color. These people will think the rose in a blue color, green color, yellow color, black color. You can't imagine whatever the colors you think of. But they will do that kind of the imagination. And the memory level is also very good for them. If the moon was in a good position and it was seeing the good planets, they will have this kind of a good influence. Why the water was represented here? Because the moon nature was like that, right? Day by day it was changing, and it was flowing towards one state and again come back to another state. The same thing, your mind is also changing from one state to another. It exactly represents your mind. Sometimes the people will like very highly emotional state, immediately they come down and they come back to the normal state, then again going to the peak. The emotional state was up and down like that. Okay, coming to this is all about your relationship and some characteristics of the moon. And well, coming to the body parts, means the feminine parts as well as the lungs. It belongs to the moon. Okay, the first two things, the sun and moon. Here is the one thing I want to share. Previously, when the very great sages and the saints, what they teach to their students and disciples, The human body, it's the Annamaya kosha. They call your body was consist of the 5 koshas, pancha kosha. Even if you didn't see, it was there. It was there not for you and me. Everybody was having the pancha koshas. But we can able to feel only our Annamaya kosha, the first kosha, whatever the food we take, whatever the drink we take. From that, our body was developed. That is your Annamaya kosha. Okay. Then the Pranamaya kosha will be there. If your Pranamaya kosha is away from your physical body, it's not related with that body. But if your Pranamaya kosha was it's in a good state, your prana level was in a good state, you will have a stable mind, stable energy, your life, you will be happy all the time, regardless of what's happening in your life. Okay. But if the Pranamaya kosha was not in a good state, then everything will be in a mess. So in order, how this Pranamaya kosha and Annamaya kosha was interacting with each other? Through the invisible nadis. They call it as a nadi channels. The number of the nadis will be come out from your body, then that will interact with your Pranamaya kosha. But there it comes and it's about the 70 to 1000 nadis. Then the sages will say, okay, how they find out? Because they are in a very good state of the meditative level. They understand this many nadis will come out from your Annamaya kosha and interact with the Pranamaya kosha. One person have to be in a good state if that nadis will be in a good flow of the prana. But 70 to 1000 nadis cannot. Some scriptures will say it was 3 lakh something. Some scriptures will say it was 72,000. Okay, this much cannot be spread to the disciples. They reduced into lesser number of the nadis. I cut short the story. They said, okay, no need to read all this nadis. Let's read only the 14 nadis. Then the peoples will get worried. They said, okay, the 14 nadis is also tough for you. Okay, let's concentrate only on the 3 nadis. One is the Surya Nadi, Chandra Nadi, and Sushumna Nadi. The Surya Nadi it's on your right side. Chandra Nadi it's on your left side. And the Sushumna it's on your center part of your body. Okay, I don't want to get into that. But why I telling this one? If you balance these 2 nadis, Surya Nadi and Chandra Nadi, any person, any human can live their life happily without getting any disease. That's the point I want to make here. Okay, let's move on to Mars. Okay, the moon will take 2.25 days to complete one zodiac sign to move into another. Okay, let's move into Mars. Okay, the Mars represents the brother in the relationship. Okay, the Mars is like a warrior. Imagine if in South India, the Mars is always related with the Murugan, Lord Murugan. And some people they say Shanmugam. Some people will say Vadivelan. There are different names for the Murugan, Lord Murugan. Most of the time, the Lord Murugan is related with the Mars. Why? He's a wonderful warrior, commander-in-chief of commander of the Devas, general of the Devas. So he was a very good warrior. And these peoples, the Mars influenced the peoples, also the courage was tremendous. The courage was very high level. And they are like warriors, real warriors, inside and outside. When I say inside and outside, means in the mind level also they are warriors. Not needed. Okay. Can you move, please? Okay. And the warrior means they are inside and outside. What is the meaning of inside and outside? They are warrior inside also, mind level. They are warrior in the physically also. That much influence they have. They're very much interested in learning the martial arts. And they're very much interested in learning fighting sequence. All kind of the fighting sequence. They will be very much interested. But same time, their angry level is so high. Okay, that's the one demerit of this kind of the people. And there are also so many different things over there. I cut shorting that story. This Mars influenced peoples, if they work in the military or the police or any kind of guarding your nation or guarding any person, bodyguard kind of stuff, they will flourish in that in their career. Okay. And they are also good surgeons. They are very good surgeons. Definitely, they have the very good influence of the Mars. That's warrior means is nothing but their energy level was high. Their strength is it's predominantly high. Now, when compared to normal human being, their energy level was so high. They are always like warrior. Not only in the health level, they are mentally also they are like a super warriors. And mostly they got attracted towards the sports or any weapons. This Mars influenced people are attracted towards like this. Okay, when it comes into the body parts, it is to your blood, your nails, and the teeth. Okay, so one thing I'm going to tell you here: if your Mars was not working properly, or if your considered if your Mars was in the 12th house, okay, then definitely if it was combined with any of the other planets, for an example, I'm telling, okay, if the Mars was in the 12th house, what is that organist belongs to? Belongs to your feet, okay. Then if the Mars was in the 12th house and its organist feet, then you may have the crack in your heel, okay, if the Mars was not in a good influence point. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Oh, before that, I forgot about one thing. The period of the Mars will take 1.5 months to move from one zodiac sign to the another. What I mean the zodiac sign, right? Then it's one constellation to the another. Okay? Mesham, Rishabham, it's one zodiac sign. To move from Mesham to Rishabham or Rishabham to Midhunam, like that. Okay. Let's come into Mercury. This is a very wonderful planet. So if it wasn't, if the person have a very good position of the Mercury in their birth chart, they have the wonderful healing property. Some peoples will have the inbuilt healing property. This kind of the peoples will have the inbuilt healing property. Okay. So here, uncles and the friends, mostly the uncles here means your father's brothers. That's why I mentioned it is an uncle. In Tamil, they call it as a chittappa or your friends. Okay. Mercury belongs to that kind of the relation. These peoples are very good in advice. And if they are in any kind of an advisory position, or they are good in a maths, and if they are put their career and they travel in the career of the commerce and the trade, they are very good. The rational mind was working in a very good way. They are very much calculative. Calculative means they are very much rational in their mind. They know what they want. They know what they are doing. They know what they want to do. Everything they put their every step in a very calculative way. In a way, if it's a win-win situation, all the time they will produce the win-win situation for both the properties. And how they can achieve this win-win properties? Because they have a very good communication skill. Very good communication skill means, suppose, consider there are the two parties involved in it. The one person was Mercury, very good influence of the Mercury person. And if this person is starting any kind of the discussion, and he or she had one thing in the mind, he had that kind of ability to convince the opposite person, and he can achieve whatever he wants or she wants. So that kind of the good communication skill they have. And how this is not only because of their good communication, their intelligence level is also high. That is altogether comes into place. Your intelligence was high. You know how to articulate the situation. You know how to communicate to the other person. You understand the mind of the other person. Everything comes into place. You achieve whatever you want. This kind of the people's Mercury, good influence peoples are very, very skillful. Okay. Now come into body parts. It's your skin and the nervous system, and your hand, fingers, shoulders, and the neck belongs to the Mercury. Mercury will take 1 month to traverse from one zodiac to the another. Okay, now coming to the Jupiter. Okay, the Jupiter here, it takes 1 year, move from one zodiac to the another zodiac sign. That's why the people will take the Jupiter is a celebrity, I would say. Every year he will turns the world upside down. Okay, if there was a Jupiter was moving from Mesha to Rishabha, Meenam to Mesham, that year, that one particular year will plays the biggest role. Why? Because the 12 year was finished. Then the Jupiter is always a celebrity for a year, for every year. Jupiter is always a celebrity, and it's also good. In other words, the Jupiter is a very auspicious planet. Among all the 9 planets, the Jupiter is the very auspicious planet. Whichever position it was in, it will give a very good in all the places. Okay. In a chart, it represents the husband for the women. Okay, it's also represents the children, and mainly it represents the teachers, gurus. It's all about the relationship. If one had a good blessing, if one had a very good of grace from the God, definitely in their lifetime they will meet a very good guru in their life. They can lead. They can easily follow their footprint. But meeting the guru, getting the blessings from the guru, it's really a wonderful thing in everyone's life. But if the guru was in a good position for one's birth chart, that can achieve easily. Okay. Now the guru is all when you say it's a guru, automatically it's implicitly saying it's a knowledge. This when the guru was in a good place, all the time it will be in a good place. Okay, they have the good knowledge and the wisdom level was high. They know what is the dharma to do in their life. I guess everyone knows what is the dharma. The dharma doesn't represent what is the good or the bad, what is the legal or illegal. Dharma will represent what is good to one's life, what is good to everybody's life. That becomes your dharma. They know what is their dharma, and they are very much into the spirituality. They won't be living in the sky, not living in the ground. I mean, they always in the spirituality in a very good sense. It's not in a high, it's not in the fake level, it's not in the extravagant level. You are very stable, but spiritually they will be progress in a slow and steady manner. And all the religious places belongs to the Guru planet only. Okay. Mostly the peoples will occupy the top political and administrative position. The in it's an implicit thing. The guru was in a very good position. Okay, and body parts, when it comes into body part, it belongs to thigh. Okay, so whenever the peoples are looking any kind of the marriage matchmaking, when they're seeing into the chart, Jupiter, Mars, and the Venus, next we are going to see. These 3 planets, they definitely taken into account. If the 3 was not in a good position and your Kalastrasthana was not in a good position, then the derivation, the understanding about the extracting information from the birth chart is also different. Okay, now let's move on to Venus. Venus will take 1 month to traverse from one zodiac sign to the another. The Venus is again wonderful thing. Any person, men or women, if they had the Venus influence, they are very much beautiful. Very much means very much beautiful. If you see a person, if you get attracted to one look, definitely their Venus was in a very good position. Okay. One more thing. If you see a person, one time you didn't get any kind of an attraction, second time you see you didn't get any attraction, but when you used with the person, you get attracted towards that person, then that means that person will have the moon influence is good. Okay, so now coming to the Venus. If you immediately attracted to one person, their physical future or something was attracting, anything was he or she or whoever it is, then their Venus was in a very good position. They are very beautiful. Naturally, they are beautiful. Okay. Now, in
Vinita,
yeah.
can I have a, I have a question now, or should I ask now or a little later?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So all these traits or general attributes, what you're telling to each planet, so far you have explained. The bottom line is they should be in good position. Mercury in good position, these are the things. Jupiter in good position, these are the things, right?
Yeah.
Then how do I know which is the good position for these planets?
That we will learn later. Definitely we will learn later. Don't worry about that. But why I'm telling you this now, keep this in mind. Okay, this all the characteristics of the Jupiter, this all the characteristic of the Venus. So when it was not in a good position, these characters will be nullified. These characters will be infected, or these characters will be had a bad influence. For example, if the moon was not in a good position, because this moon influenced peoples are highly emotional. If the moon was not in a good position, definitely they're mentally affected. Mentally affected means I'm not saying they are mentally sick.
Disturbed, emotionally disturbed.
Yeah, they get into the depressed level. They're mentally disturbed. That kind of a thing will come. So why I didn't tell you that one now itself, it was an overload for now. It's just an introduction. You just remember this characteristic now, little by little. I add on and one into the other way. If you learn the order in the stack by stack manner, right? You can easily remember everything. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Now we'll see into the Venus. The Venus for men, Venus belongs to the wife. Okay. How we see the Jupiter belongs to the husband, Venus belongs to the wife. Okay, here the ant is husband sisters, not anybody else. Husband sisters. In Tamil, they call it as an attai. Okay, this is specific to that person's only. Husband sisters, that two blood related sisters. Okay, I'm much more specific on that area. Okay, ant means that one I'm mentioning there. Okay, if the Venus was in a good position, they are very much royal. Royal means very much. They are very generous as well. Very generous means they don't mind to share anything with anybody. Whatever, if they want to donate also, if they want to give help to others also, their mindset was so much generous. Okay, but the important thing here is their creativity was so high. If they want to, for a normal person, want to paint in a green color, they will paint in a combination of green, blue, red, and they will come up with a different imagination. If one person was imagining something, their creative level was so high. Okay, they were so much lovable. That's why I said, if you see a person, if you are attracted towards the person at one side, definitely their Venus influence was so high. Okay, but in a joke, I'm telling you this, but I should not tell this. In the Ramayana, there was a scene when Sita was seeing Rama at first time. In the story, it was like this: they had the love at first sight. But I always say, okay, not always. Whenever I see this kind of the love at first sight in a novel or in the drama, I think in this manner. Okay, the Venus was in the good position. I'm just joking. Don't take it in a serious manner. Okay, that much that people's was attractive. If the Venus was in a very, very good influence, they very much attractive. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay, harmony in the sense they don't want to fight with everybody. It was entirely different from the Mars people. The Mars people was a warrior in the nature, not in the mental level. Also, they want to fight with everyone. Okay, if they don't get, they will fight immediately. But this Venus people, if they want to get anything, they will always choose the win-win situation. They will always maintain the harmony with everybody. Okay. All things belongs to luxury, prosperity, and any kind of the assets belongs to Shukran. Nothing but Venus. Okay. When coming to the body parts, it belongs to kidney and the urinal system. Okay. imagine you didn't have the good influence of the Venus, some point in time, your kidney may get affected or your urinary system will make it some kind of the disease. That's a sample I'm telling you if your Venus was not in a good position. Okay, let's move on. Okay.
Vanita, I have a question here.
Hmm.
You said you were joking about this Ram and Sita thing, but if it is a fact, then it means that Venus is in a strong position. If you
Yes,
get
yes, true. Yeah,
Right.
because Sita was when Sita was described as a woman, she described as a very good administrative quality, and she has an administrative quality as the prime minister, and her beauty was it's like a radiating sun, and his beauty was unimaginable to any human. So that's why I compared Sita with the good influence of the Venus. Okay, I'm telling it's in a good sense
Yes.
because I love the Ramayana number of the times.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I hope you understand in a very good manner. Even if
Yes.
I said it was a joking, for me, I'm not joking. I'm seriously seeing it is in a different way. Okay.
Right, Vanita. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to see the 3 stars. I always see this one is the main stars. Saturn, Rahu, and the Ketu. We'll see first Saturn. The Saturn will finish one zodiac sign 2.5 years. Okay. It belongs to the uncle and the elder brothers. I confused with that uncle. Okay, that uncle was uncle. This uncle is the Chitapa. Okay. That one which I said earlier, that is the exact uncle. I'm sorry, I confused, I guess. There was one uncle will come here. This is the uncle only. Okay, here the Saturn belongs to father's brother, your father's brother, and the elder brother. Okay, if you get a help from your, okay, it was like this. The relationship, I don't want to confuse here. Let's have a relationship, your uncles and the elder brothers. That is about the relationship when it comes into Saturn. Let's see the Saturn. The Saturn belongs to hardworking. They hard work like anything. If hard work means they are the sample, they are the exact meaning of the hardworking. Or they will work under the governments, all kind of the government service they do. Any kind of the workers, it comes under the Saturn influence. And they in Tamil they call Saturn is called as an oil karakan. Oil karakan means it's also mentioning how long you can live. Okay, remember that's why the peoples will get scared. The Saturn was going to give the oil karakan. No, the Saturn is not going to give the number of years, how many years going to live. It's not done by Saturn, but it is telling you how long you can give. Okay, that is why it's called as an oil karakan. How long you can live. The longevity is described by the Saturn. And anything which is disturbing in your life, like your poverty, your debts, your grief, fear, any kind of the pessimistic mind, everything belongs to Saturn influence. Okay. When it comes into the, it's considered as the delay muscle, considered as the muscle. Okay, that is a Saturn. But comes into the, why I call it is the 3 heroes. The certain, if it was okay, when last week I told you, gave 7.5 years. 7.5 years in one's life, it comes in at least 3 times. That average, I'm thinking that one person can live 90 years. Okay, so imagine the person was born on the transit of the Saturn. They may have 4 times. Okay, 7.5 years, 7.5 years. Why it was 7.5 years? From your birth, from your lagna, the 12th position 1 and the next position 1, 2, 3, 2.5 years, 2.5 years, 2.5 years. Why this 2.5 years was coming? We will learn very detail in the upcoming classes. Now I cut short the story. So consider the 7.5 years. Continuously they will get. That is why they call it as the Yelranati or Sadi Sani, something like that. But this 7.5 years, one can come across once in 30 years. For example, you born on the transit of the Saturn. From your birth itself, you have this 7.5 years. So once it's finished, then after 30 years of your life, you will get again the 7.5 years, again 7.5 years. Okay, here is the point. The first 7.5 years was really tough. The second 7.5 years, you at that point in time, you already become highly mature. You know what to do. You understand the life in a different way. Your approach of the life is also different. So you understand all the life learnings and you put everything into an action in the second 7.5 years. When it comes into the third 7.5 years, you overcome the Saturn. Why? Because your age was at least about 60 and your life experience was tremendous. And there is also one more reason I will tell you at the end. This is a special reason I will tell you at the end. Because of that experience and because of the life lessons you received from the universe, you were highly matured and you know how to handle the last third 7.5 years in a very effective manner. Okay, the sunny it's a very good teacher for you. I would say it's a very, very good teacher for you. One of my teacher was saying, the sunny is not a bad planet. The sunny is a very good teacher for you. Some things you may not learn a lesson. If somebody was teaching you, now you learn from many books, you learn from many courses, you learn from anything. But if you experience, if you are that thing come into your action, into your life, you learn in a very different way. And the experience was totally different. That experience can given by Saturn. That much big importance to the Saturn. But the Saturn is anything belongs to dirty places, anything belongs to dirt in the house, that's all belongs to the Saturn. That's why whenever your house was not clean, if the house was dirty, if then they will say your chapel is the Saturn. Okay, that's why the people will say don't put the chapel in front of the home. They always put the chapel the side of the home. I mean, if there was the main gate of the home is there, they won't allow the peoples to put the chapel, slippers in front of the home. They always ask them to do put the side because the chapel is the Saturn. So that's why they said, okay, the auspicious may not enter into your home. That's why they said put the slippers aside. That's why they ask you to clean the home in the place should be very clean and neat. All the dirt locations, the Saturn will come. Okay, if you heard about this story of the Nalan Diamond, the Nalan was a very generous person, and the Saturn was not able to catch him because he didn't do any mistake. Only one mistake he did was he didn't wash his feet, the backside of his feet. That is the point he entered into his life. Okay, I'm just telling us a story, but you go ahead and learn about this Nalan Diamond story. It was very much interesting how the Saturn was entering into his life. Okay, then I will move on to Rahu. The Rahu is one zodiac sign to another zodiac sign. Ketu is also take 1.5 years. Okay, now Rahu is the north node, ascending node. Okay, from the north to the south. Here, Rahu and the Ketu both belongs to grandfather, but this Rahu grandfather is father side. Father side grandfather. Okay, that is a relationship for the Rahu. Okay, now when comes into Rahu, he materialistic, all kind of the materialistic thing. Any kind of they always have an desire to achieve. Okay, I want this, I want that. Always the materialistic thought will always revolving around their mind in and out. Okay, the kind of the mischief, the fear is also in there. Okay, importantly, their obsessive behavior, if the Ragu was not in a good place and if the Ragu get influenced by the bad planets, and again the Ragu also get Ragu mostly give influence to other planets, in that case their obsessive level is so high. Their obsession is not only in their career, in their relationship, in their worldly affair, everything, their obsessive level was so high. Then they easily get confused. They always in the cat on the wall. They feel like, okay, I want to choose this, I want to choose that. They don't choose anything. They are always in the middle. Okay. When it comes into the body parts, it belongs to the stomach. Okay. Then finally, the superstar, Ketu, 1.5 years of the zodiac sign, the descending node, the south node, goes from bottom to up. It's a grandfather of the mother side. Why we have to mention the grandfather of the mother side and father side? Because it's the ancestral area. It's a heredity. It's speaking about your heredity. Okay. The Ketu belongs to whatever the losses you had in your life, whatever the sorrows in your life. It all belongs to Ketu. Okay. Importantly, if the Ketu was in a very good state, there is a high chances you become astrologer or detective. Okay. And the spiritual writers also. Okay, then I quickly finish this one. The body parts, it belongs to ear and your hair. Okay, so suppose in case if you have the dandruff, then they will say you had a very bad influence of the Ketu. If you have a bad influence of the Ketu, you will have a dandruff. Notice that one. I'm not joking. You just see this one. If you have the dirt comes into your hair very quickly, then you had influence of the Saturn. Okay, check your hair. The hair will, your head will tell you many things. If you have a dandruff, definitely there is influence of the Ketu. If you have the dirt will comes oftenly in your hair, then the Saturn influence was high. Okay, but the special meaning here. Okay, now I tell you, okay, this all is 9 planets will do this, that, and all. Okay, then as a person, definitely each and every person will get affected by this 9 planets. What will be the universal solution? The one universal solution is if you increase your pranamaya kosha, if you increase your if you are not living only on your annamaya kosha, if you are extending your pranamaya kosha, and this pranamaya kosha will increase to extend to the 5th level of your kosha. If that was happen, then you no need to worry about any kind of the planet influence. Even if it was a Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, or any kind of the bad influence, nothing will touch you. Okay. You may heard this 2 points. If you go and see any of the great sadhus and the sannyasis, they feel like they also like human, like they also human, like, but they don't have this kind of that. They don't worried about the Saturn transit or Venus transit or Guru transit. But how come they are always smiling? How come they are glowing their face all the time? The one thing they do is they increase the prana level. All the time they do the pranamaya kosha, increase the pranic level, increase the prana in their body. So that is the universal solution for everything. If you are increase your prana, then you don't need to worry. You may also heard about this. If you cross the age of the fame, why the people say like this? Because once you reach one particular level, you may learn the different life lessons in your body. You come across different life stages in your life, and you see many people's. You experienced many things. It's generally they had a saying. Okay, you have a special understanding about the life. You know how to deal the life. Even if there was the bad thing happen in your life, you know how to handle. That's why the people will say, if you cross 40, don't worry about the horoscope. Okay, but I won't believe in the solution. I believe in the first solution. If you increase your prana, that is the universal solution. You don't need to worry about any kind of the bad influence of this planet.
Vinita, can you mention different Annamaya, Pranamaya, like the 5 koshas? Can you just say which are the 5 koshas?
Oh, I see. Okay. Annamaya kosha is your physical body. Pranamaya kosha, it's your pranic level of your body. And the Manomaya kosha, it's your mind body. And the Vijnanamaya kosha and the Anandamaya kosha. Okay, let's see one by one. The Annamaya kosha is your food body. Food body is nothing but
Physical body.
Physical body. Yeah, physical body, which is developed by your food and your whatever you're drinking, that makes your physical body. That is your Annamaya kosha. Kosha means body. Maybe I'm telling the word kosha. Kosha is nothing but your physical body. That's the Annamaya kosha. Then it comes into the Pranamaya kosha. The pranamaya kosha is built with the prana only. Okay. How if your prana get affected, then your pranamaya kosha will also get shrink. Okay. Usually, the first prana, when you extend your hand, right, at least to 12 inch, the prana will expand if for a normal person. If you increase your pranic level, then what will happen? You can extend throughout the nation also. That much pranic level, pranamaya kosha can be expanded. Okay, here comes the thing. How you know, because you are not seeing that, right? How you know you can, there was a very, very basic level, I'll tell you. How you know there was a pranic body. You sit in the front row. Imagine there was a last row person was staring at you for very long time. You definitely know somebody was seeing at you. Okay, no need to turn back and see them. You no need to do anything, but definitely you will understand somebody was staring at you. How? Because they stare at you only, but your pranic body will get influenced. Somebody will see you. Okay, that is a basic level of understanding your prana was working or not. And then you also heard about this word aura. Some people will say my aura, the aura got shrinked or aura got infected. The aura was not in a good oval shape. Aura was not in a triangle shape. This, that, and one you may heard about. But if you are had good practice of the pranamaya kosha, good practice of the pranayama, you do the asana practice, you do the all kind of the yoga asana practice, and do the pranayama regularly, then
Meditation.
yes, meditation. Meditation is for manumaya kosha. For the pranic, for the pranamaya kosha, what you have to do first, for the physical body, you have to do the yoga asana. If you are not nurturing your physical body, there is no way you are looking to any kosha. First, the main thing, you have to pamper your physical body. Once that was done, then do the pranamaya kosha. In a yogic world, what they do, if you want to learn any kind of the pranayama practice, nowadays everything was the fast learning. You will learn in a week, Kapalabhati, Pastrika, any kind of the pranayama, you will learn in a 12 days and you come out. Okay. But in a usual practice, in ancient time, what they will do, they do this practice for one pranayama, they practice for a year. Why they need to practice for a year? Because they have to come across all the seasons. They have to get the influence of the sun whole year, then they can understand what is happening in their body, or if the practice was getting affected or not. So they consistently practice. For example, if one person was doing an Adishuddhi, it should not get affected in one day or 1 month. The Nadi Shuddhi have to be consistently practiced for 365 days in a year. Then they can perform. Nadi Shuddhi is nothing but cleansing your nadis. Okay, yes. If you've done the cleansing of the nadis, then the pranamaya kosha will be very much strengthened. Once that was done, after a year of the practice of the Nadi Shuddhi, then you practice any kind of the pranayama to strengthen the pranamaya kosha. So that way you first cleanse it, then strengthen it, then expand it. How come you can expand? You do the meditation, the pranic layer will be expand automatically. Then the manomaya kosha will be strengthened. Okay. Then the vijnanamaya kosha and anandamaya kosha, you don't need to worry about it. Why? Automatically. If you do, yes, automatically you handshake with the God. Automatically you handshake with the divine. Okay. Yeah. If you ask me to speak this one, I will speak all the day. I hope this little bit of brief introduction about the 5 courses will be
yes, good enough.
Great. Okay, this one is all the text you can read as well. Whatever I explained earlier, the same thing was coming here. Okay, the next week, okay, we can see about okay, this one I will quickly tell you. The sun represents the soul, the moon represents the mind. Okay, the Mercury, it's about thinking mind. I will show you in the chart as well. Just read about this. The Venus belongs to the desires. Mars is the actionable planet. Jupiter is the wisdom. Saturn is the renunciation. Okay, when you see this one, consider sun as the father, moon is the mother. Then each have the one child. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. That's why in the chart you see this one. Sun and the moon having one places only, but their children was having the two places. Okay, you can easily remember that way. Okay, this from this slide onwards, the planets and the mind we will see from the next week, because this here I have to say something. I don't want to extend your time. I already exceeded the time. Okay, now if you have any questions in today's class.
A good position of the planet or bad position you are referring to, is it related to birth chart or the present time?
No, birth chart. Okay, birth chart. Okay, along with the present time, how we can combine this one? Because the birth chart is your base. Okay, then the present time, what the Dasa Buddhi was doing at this point in time, what is the planetary position in your birth chart? Imagine the birth chart is your base. That is your starting point. But the planetary position will be changed from, considered you born in 40 years ago. Okay. Now definitely the planetary position will be modified, right? How you can compare? This is your base point. Then you from that, what kind of the Dasa period was you are in, then the planetary position you will find out. Then that becomes your current planetary position. From that on, you have to read. But your birth chart is the base.
Madam?
Yeah.
How to remember whatever your last so many sessions we sat over, and we are holding on a mobile in front of us and we are following. How to remember all these things, madam? Can we take down, or we have to go study same thing one by one lesson? A bit confusion comes sometimes. How to remember all these things?
We are getting a revision for that, right? In the beginning?
No, madam, not that. Now, suppose we have last sessions are over. Now, how to remember this? Shall we have to take up in a paper and note down everything in other notebook, something, whatever you are this thing, then we have to rehearse it. We have to practice something.
Okay.
But one look only, whatever you say in one speech, suppose 1 hour you spend, you will not be able to go into your brain. It won't go. So how to?
Okay, don't worry. Don't get overwhelmed. This is about the simple introduction only. But what the effect you have to put on the first part of the revision. You remember every class we start with a revision, right? So every week I add up the item which we learned in the previous weeks. I add up item one by one. Okay, so you have to put the effort on the revision only. Don't worry about this one. This one I will make you to study no matter what. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Vinita, one last question from my end. There is a bit of confusion about the uncle's part you said.
Okay, the uncle's. Okay, wait a second.
One is father's.
Vinita, even aunts. Uncles and aunts.
And aunt, I will tell you. Wait, give me a second. Which part I confused you? It's about the uncle part, right? Give me a second. Okay. I will show you from here itself. Okay, who are all you will first let's have with the uncle. Okay, who are all you call the uncle? Right, maybe your father's brother or mother's brother, correct?
Yes.
Two people you call as an uncle.
The maternal uncle and paternal uncle. Okay.
Yes.
Mama and Periyappa, Chinnappa, whatever.
Chittappa. Saturn is the Chittappa. Okay, here the uncle here in the Saturn which I mentioned is the Chittappa. That means your father's brother.
Okay.
Father's younger brother.
No, it says elder brother.
Saturn is father's elder brother.
Elder brother means elder brother. But here when I mention uncle is your father's Chittappa, right? Uncle, here I'm mentioning uncle.
So it can be Chittappa or Periyappa, father's side. Is it right?
Father's side. Correct.
Father's side. Okay. Mother's side is the other planet.
other thing. Yeah.
Oh.
And when it comes into an ant, which when I told you about the Venus, it's the considered husband and wife. Okay.
No, here
Or else your
Mercury
father.
is mother side, maternal uncle.
No. Father's sister. Considered you are only daughter of your father. Okay. Your father have a sisters, right? Atta.
Okay.
You got confused? Okay, I will tell you again.
Alala, Mercury also mentions uncles and Saturn also mentions. I'm talking about the uncles now.
Oh, uncles only. Here the uncles is normal.
Vinita, we are getting very confused because you are talking a little in your South Indian, so we can't understand.
Oh, okay. That's why let's make it very simple. No. Very simple. Uncle, consider it an uncle only. Whoever it is now. Okay.
No. 1 minute. We have two sets of uncles. One father's side, one mother's side.
Okay.
So is there a specification of that when you say uncle under Mercury is father's side, under Saturn is father's side? How is it?
Okay. Consider
Let's talk
now.
about Mercury.
Okay. Now consider this Mercury as a general uncle. Okay. Let it be a general uncle for Mercury. Okay. Now leave this part. Now when it comes into a Saturn, when I say uncle there is your father's younger brother.
What about elder brother?
That elder brother will come. I will tell you that elder brother is the Periyappa, right? That comes into the Mercury also. Okay.
So Saturn is father's younger brother.
Father's younger brother. That's why I called this in. I don't know how you call it as in a Hindi Chittappa. Chacha. Okay, yeah.
Chacha.
What about Mercury's uncle in Mercury? When you say
consider it a gentle uncle for now. Okay, you will get much more clarified when you move on. Don't worry about this. This uncle thing will get because when I say
we will note down only when you say specific things. Otherwise, it is generic. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Yeah, and Vinita,
the ant is also, I'm telling, it's about your father's sister. Who will you talk as an ant? Your father's sisters or your mother's sisters, correct?
This is Venus you're talking about?
Yes, I'm talking about Venus.
So father's blood-related sister.
Yes, father's blood-related sisters. Correct. Okay, even if I'm confusing you, don't worry about this one, and I will make a clear revision on every bit. That time you will get so much clarified. Even I will try to give you in your local language also. Don't worry about it.
No, you can make a note that whether it is maternal uncle or paternal uncle. That itself will give a lot of clarity.
Okay, definitely. Yeah.
And Vinita, what about mother sister?
Mother sister.
Aunt.
Okay, the aunt. Okay, if I didn't mention, it will comes in the different one. Don't worry about this one. This planet is okay. If the relation was mentioned specifically, right, that people had a great influence. For example, if the Venus, when I mentioned ant, that means the characteristic or any of the characteristic of the Venus applicable to that relation. If I didn't mention anything, don't worry about that.
Okay. Like you said, Mercury is general uncle. So which is general aunt?
That's why I said.
Brothers.
That's why I said, if I didn't mention, don't worry about that.
Okay.
Because every relation have the different zodiac sign properties. You will come across with each and every one. Don't worry about this. If I didn't mention, you will definitely have the different properties somewhere.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
पतन का सबसे बड़ा कारण है हमारे अपने ही
I can understand Hindi, but I couldn't explain you in Hindi. What is that? Anyone was saying something?
No, it sounded like a recording.
Oh, I see. Okay. If there was no question, I stop here. We'll see you next week. Is that okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vanita.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Bye bye.